Wow. Blake Lively is trying to get Justin Baldoni and his lawyer to shut up after some new footage.
So I want to cut through some of the noise here. Blake Lively is accusing Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment.
The Super Bowl was this year, and, Blake Lively decided to go. She wanted to leave the kids at home and just, have fun with the girlies.
Blake Lively's legal battle with Justin Baldoni has taken an unexpected turn, with new revelations exposing layers of hypocrisy that fans and critics alike can't ignore. As documents surface and past statements are revisited, it appears that Blake's public persona of integrity and transparency might be crumbling under scrutiny. Her attempts to control the narrative are backfiring, leaving her in a whirlwind of contradictions, accusations, and public backlash.
Blake Lively suggested Justin be his trainer was Ryan and Blake's clear friend and celebrity trainer who was clearly aligned to them. So now this whole fat shaming thing that started the whole argument from Ryan came from this guy, this trainer who's clearly closer to them and wants them and showing them off, pitting them all over his Instagram to get other celebrities so he can get more people to join his gym or whatever. This is where it all came from? Through hearsay, through that? And then just to focus a second, again, allegedly, if this guy is the one who did it, and you're telling me your client now, Justin, who's become your training, is talking to you about concerns or whatever. Who knows how he asked it, or if he was just brought it up in passing, like, oh man, I got this big lifting scene that I got to do.
While Blake has long been celebrated for her outspoken stance on certain issues, her recent actions in this legal drama are raising eyebrows, and people are starting to call out the double standards. Ryan Reynolds' involvement only adds fuel to the fire, with many questioning if Hollywood's golden couple is finally facing consequences for playing both sides. So how did Blake's carefully crafted image unravel so quickly? Let's break down the shocking hypocrisy that's coming to light.
And either way, Blake Lively did a fantastic speech a couple years ago in which I absolutely love. A lot of people were touched by it for sure. Blake Lively decides to wear Balenciaga.
What is this, honey?
Also forgot to mention, another one of Balenciaga's backlash was because they had the Balenciaga bag on top of court documents which were about CP. And a lot of people were just like, this is just strange. And it is just strange behavior. It doesn't matter how people try and flip it, bop it, twerk it, or turn it around, babes. This is strange behavior. Anyway, so she went to the Super Bowl, she wore the red, and she was basically like a walking highlighter, walking promotion from them. Is she like an ambassador? No, she's not. I did a Google search and she's not. An ambassador would be like Kim Kardashian, who constantly was shoving Balenciaga down our throats and showing campaigns that she did with.
In a surprising move, Blake headed back to court to address the growing backlash surrounding her lawsuit. Her return wasn't just about legal filings. It was a desperate attempt to salvage her reputation amid accusations that she's playing victim while engaging in behavior she once criticized. Fans have been quick to point out the contradictions between Blake's statements in court and her previous public stances, leaving many to wonder if she's changing her tune to suit the situation.
They don't call her, well, I don't call her Blake No Receipts Lively for nothing. The judge in New York overseeing the consolidated federal case has already granted a protective order to the Nepo baby who filed the request, but that's not enough for her. So now, the wife of Scarlett Johansson's ex-husband has gone back to court and is asking for gimme. Delulu Lively is asking for a stronger protective order than the court's model one they already received. Depositions and discovery are to come, and Taylor Swift. And others, but Taylor Swift. So you see, it's not about her. No. Pinocchio Princess has a big heart and is looking out for others. A reminder, Baldoni and his team had previously agreed to a protective order. The judge, Judge Lyman, thought it was a good idea because of how many high-profile people were involved. So we shall see if he is open to this new, much stronger protective order. Until then, Perez Hilton here at your service.
Blake and Ryan reportedly attempted to silence Justin Baldoni after a damning clip surfaced, showing exchanges that painted Blake in an unflattering light. The move to suppress these clips was seen by many as an effort to hide the truth rather than confront it, further fueling accusations of hypocrisy. Critics argue that if Blake was truly standing by her claims, she wouldn't need to muzzle the opposition, a tactic she has previously condemned in other controversies.
Wow. Blake Lively is trying to get Justin Baldoni and his lawyer to shut up after some new footage, very revealing footage, was released yesterday. Is this her telling us a little something? Is she guilty? Or no? What's up? The Justin Baldoni and the Blake Lively situation has just gotten very messy over some time. Let's just be completely real. And I'm still questioning a lot of things that have been strewn out for the whole court of public opinion to see with their own eyes. And let's be real, I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more stuff here very, very soon. But nonetheless, yesterday, Justin Baldoni's lawyer put out some video.
Perhaps the most shocking revelation is the resurfacing of allegations that Blake engaged in fat-shaming on set, accusations that directly contradict her long-standing advocacy for body positivity. Court documents reveal instances where Blake reportedly made insensitive comments, sparking outrage and disbelief among fans who once praised her for promoting healthy self-image. This revelation has greatly affected her credibility, leaving many to question whether her public persona is little more than a facade.
Justin Baldoni's team refiled their complaint, and with it included a new timeline featuring a lot of new evidence. And the more I read it, the angrier I'm getting at Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. Justin Baldoni's team went and did it. They made the website. You can all go check it out now. thelawstudioinfo.com, where you can get the amended complaint and the timeline of relevant events. It seems like the start of what they promised us. It's not every text, like they said, but it's a lot of new texts that really do make Blake look really bad. And that's really what I wanted to focus on first. I want to focus on what Blake alleged, and then I want to go through these new timeline of events to sort of show, well, what do we have from Justin to sort of dispute it?
Blake's case has become a textbook example of Hollywood hypocrisy. While she's publicly championed honesty and transparency, her actions in this lawsuit suggest otherwise. From alleged behind-the-scenes manipulation to legal maneuvers aimed at deflecting responsibility, it's clear that Blake's behavior doesn't align with the values she claims to uphold. Many insiders believe that Blake's downfall isn't just about this lawsuit. It's about years of unchecked privilege finally catching up to her.
So I want to cut through some of the noise here. Blake Lively is accusing Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment. Baldoni is hitting back with a $400 million lawsuit. And now, Lively says her kids are traumatized. She's afraid to leave her home. And Ryan Reynolds, Hollywood's favorite wise ass, is mentally and physically affected by the whole mess. You want to know what I see? I see another Hollywood disaster where justice takes a back seat to spin, strategy, and more nonsense narrative control. We saw this before. And if you think this is just about two celebrities fighting it out, you're missing the bigger picture. This is about how the media and Hollywood's elites weaponize accusations, manipulate public perception, and decide who gets canceled and who doesn't. Because he doesn't look that traumatized to me to be cracking jokes on Saturday Night Live. Or maybe he's a better actor than I thought. So look, I spent a lot of time around Hollywood. The first 15 years of my career, I spent providing close protection and security consulting for A-list actors, musicians, rock stars, Hollywood executives. I've worked behind the scenes at private events. I've been inside their homes. I've slept in their homes. I've been on tour with some of the big names in entertainment. And I've seen firsthand how the industry works. The power plays, the manipulation. I've heard all the phone calls. The deals that never made it into the headlines. Nobody's closer than the celebrity bodyguard.
Social media has been quick to remind Blake of her own words from past interviews, highlighting the stark contrast between her current actions and previous statements about integrity and respect. Clips from old interviews have resurfaced, where Blake condemned dishonesty and manipulation, values she now stands accused of violating herself. The backlash has been swift and unforgiving, with fans calling her out for talking the talk but not walking the walk.
The Super Bowl was this year, and, Blake Lively decided to go. She wanted to leave the kids at home and just, have fun with the girlies, and she did that alongside her best friend Taylor Swift, who is there to obviously support her boyfriend Travis Kelce. His family was there, celebrities were there, because obviously it's like one of the biggest nights in sports, and Ice Spice was there, Lana Del Rey was there, and a bunch of other celebrities. Blake Lively decided to wear Adidas x Balenciaga. I know Americans say Adidas, I'm British, so I'm just gonna say Adidas, but yeah, Adidas x Balenciaga, and decided to basically be a walking campaign for them because it was like the brightest shade of red. And of course people are gonna wonder like, oh my god, what's she wearing? Who designed this? I mean, obviously it has the 3 stripes, but people wanted to know more about the outfit, especially because like the people were more concerned about the outfit more than the actual like history here. But hey, I guess like the boots were like attached to the tracksuit. They designed it in a way where it was like very innovative.
Blake faces the brunt of the criticism, but Ryan Reynolds hasn't been spared. His involvement, particularly his attempts to defend Blake publicly, has raised eyebrows. Some argue that Ryan's support has shifted from being protective to enabling, especially as more details emerge about his own alleged outbursts behind the scenes. Instead of helping, Ryan's actions seem to be dragging both of them down.
He also did some haha hee in the last Deadpool movie. Remember Nice Pool? I wouldn't be doing that if that were my wife, but I'm not married to the plantation princess. He is, and she's got a Ryan Reynolds problem. And she knows it. A source close to the soon-to-be former actress tells People magazine, whom I find to be very credible, quote, Blake felt a bit anxious about attending the SNL anniversary. She still thought it was the perfect opportunity to ease back into the spotlight. They had many friends attending, and as soon as they arrived...
Newly released court documents expose even more contradictions in Blake's case. Emails and internal communications show that Blake may have consented to certain scenes and decisions she now claims were inappropriate. This isn't just a legal issue anymore. It's a credibility crisis, and Blake is losing ground fast.
Following the court documents released between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, they've got these pre-trial documents that have been going back and forth. Some might read them as very hypocritical, as Blake Lively's side is trying to get a gag order, a protective order against Justin Baldoni so that he doesn't share the evidence against her in their upcoming court battle. Well, since the court date is set for over a year from now, I think their plan is to let the public know, hey, here's what we got, this is what we'll be sharing, this is just what happened. Of course, this coming after Blake Lively colluded with the New York Times to get her side out there with her evidence. So the question is, will this evidence by Justin Baldoni be exposed today or this weekend before the Monday court hearing? Maybe they say, well, on Monday, the judge might decide we're not allowed to talk at all.
While Blake's legal woes are dominating headlines now, some industry insiders claim this isn't new behavior. Stories are resurfacing about past conflicts on set, with colleagues describing her as difficult and controlling. These revelations suggest that Blake's current troubles might be less of an anomaly and more of a pattern finally being exposed.
After everything that has gone down, from the It Ends With Us promo to these lawsuits coming out back to back from Blake Lively and then from her co-star Justin Baldoni, I had to hop on this. And here we are now, hopping on the wave, talking about Miss Blake Lively. But before we get into this very, very, very lengthy video, let's first start off with a little bit of positivity as always. Today's quote of the day is, I free myself yourself from all destructive thoughts. Today's verse of the day is Hosea chapter 10, verse 12, and it reads, "Sow righteousness for yourselves, reap the fruit of unfailing love, and break up your unplowed ground. For it is time to seek the Lord until he comes and showers his righteousness on you." And without further ado, you guys, let's get straight into today's video. And it honestly started leading people to believe that Leighton was the problem versus Blake, just because Leighton was more laid back and didn't care to be all up in the spotlight. And that gets into another reason as to why people believe that the two didn't like each other, and that was the unequal spotlight. So Blake often got more media attention due to her constantly being on red carpets, having a more bubbly personality, and just personally putting herself out there. It was clear she loved the attention, she loved the spotlight. And then you had Leighton, who went to far less public appearances and overall just stayed out of the limelight.
The contradictions in Blake's lawsuit have left many scratching their heads. How can someone who advocates for transparency be caught making secret deals and filing lawsuits that contradict her public stance? The confusion isn't just affecting the court, it's leaving fans disillusioned.
So they got the story killed on the basis that whatever was being circulated was not real. It was not authentic. They try to spin this in the amendment, try to spin them saying we got this killed as a huge aha. And here's the language that they use. Less than 1 week later, they bragged about how they had shut down stories regarding HR complaints on set. Miss Nathan remarked that this went so well, it was genius, so okay, we have 4 majors standing down on the HR complaint. Yeah, it wasn't real. That's her job, is to get things debunked when they are not true. And so for them to then try to spin it to us like something was wrong here is completely ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. Okay, now before we get into Isabel Ferrer, because I really want to point something out here that I find to be extremely creepy about her relationship with her and how I think she purposefully put her in her, in her web.
He was just dropped from his talent agency. I think you guys might be underestimating the seriousness of these allegations, and I don't think this is all a PR stunt. I hope that you actually read the 80-page complaint and look at the images of the text messages and the allegations of what he and the 2 owners did to her ongoing, even after they had several meetings with Ryan Reynolds present, and they wouldn't stop.
Blake's hypocrisy is no longer just a talking point. It's at the center of a legal and public relations disaster that's threatening to dismantle her carefully cultivated image. With accusations of fat-shaming, contradictory court documents, and attempts to silence her opponent, Blake's once spotless reputation is crumbling before our eyes.
In the special operations world, there were nights with no sleep, missions that stretched for days, and no room for mistakes. Coffee was serious, and it kept us sharp, locked in, and ready to move. And let me tell you something, I still take it seriously. And that's why Merkava Coffee, strong, no nonsense, battle tested, no fluff, no gimmicks, just good, bold coffee for the people who need to be at their best. And if you start your day like I do, like it's a mission, you know why this matters. Hit the link down in the description and grab yourself a triple order and help keep the lights on and support the Aaron Cohen Show. Appreciate you guys. Now I want to talk about the court versus public opinion.
As more evidence surfaces and fans continue to call out the double standards, it's becoming increasingly clear that playing both sides isn't working. Ryan Reynolds' involvement has only complicated matters, leaving Hollywood's beloved power couple facing the biggest scandal of their careers.
That Justin is innocent as far as that goes. And of course, when you have that out in the court of public opinion, it's very easy for people to sway and go, well, wait a second. Well, if he's not lying about this, if she was incorrect about this, could she be incorrect about a lot of other things as well? And I think this is the main reason why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are now hitting his lawyer and Justin Baldoni with a gag order. So basically, they're trying to snuff them out. They are trying to get them to stay quiet.
The question now isn't just whether Blake can win the lawsuit, it's whether she can recover from the damage. And with every new revelation, that path to redemption looks more impossible than ever.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were definitely uninvited from the Met Gala, and a Wintour ain't got time to play these games.
There has been a considerable amount of blowback with respect to the appearances of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds at the SNL 50th year reunion.
So there was mediation. Like there was an idea of mediation, and both sides, your side and Blake's, shot it down. No one wanted. No, were you open to mediating this? And the other side said no, because I don't understand why this could and should end. But it has to be them, right?
And I think not just that they appeared there, but were involved in the show in a way where they were poking fun fully at this whole battle between Blake and Justin Baldoni.